Dave, what was the big thing that, when you did the review, I guess frustrated you the most out of that game on Friday night?
I'm not sure about frustrated, but we made a couple of defensive errors that we wouldn't normally make, and they're pretty clinical, and they scored off them, and we had some opportunities, especially just before half-time and just after half-time, which could have put a little bit of pressure on them, so we didn't nail those, but it's a game of inches, and that's what you expect in these sort of encounters. The little chip over the top that Aaron put in for Damien, 2 metres left and 2 metres shorter, and he gets to it first and scores. So I think the option was good. It just they covered it well, and then they were pretty clinical after that.
Having had another look at the tape, I'm sure more than one, do you feel the penalty count against your team was justified?
No, but I never do. Although we gave away some soft and dumb ones, which have no issues about, and well, you can grizzle about all sorts of things around the referee decisions, but you've got to be good enough to take them out of it. So there was a couple of times that we felt that we couldn't get access to the ball, or to their player over the ball, because their tackler's not rolling away. But I'm sure that if they looked at it, they could grizzle about a couple of things about us.
Dave, what did you make of the Blues game? Did you catch any of it?
Yep, no, I've had a good look at it. A couple of strange yellow card decisions that ended up being a red card, probably. So, it's not an easy place to go, as we found out. And, the Stormers, even with a couple of first fives out, still were able to apply a lot of pressure, especially through their pack. So, now what we know is that Blues will be pretty desperate this week.
How are your concussion guys, Dave? Is there any sort of update on them?
Charlie's pretty good. He's had about 4 days symptom free and so on. So, but we're unlikely to use him this week. We want to be really sure. So, and similar with Sam McNichol, he's had a bit of history with concussion. He actually bounced back reasonably well the day after, but we'll tread carefully around that. He missed the whole NPC through concussion. So Beaver, he's actually bounced back okay. We'll make a decision on him later, but obviously he's going through protocols, and at this stage unlikely.
So on Charlie, when you say you'd be, play it pretty safe, I suppose, like he would be probably available this week if you wanted, but you just don't want to agitate it.
Yeah, in the end we'll take advice from the medics around that. So, also we didn't take him to Fiji because he, obviously had a headache post-training, so we couldn't find what that was about, and we just want to be really cautious around him. So we're not going to rush him back in, but the news is pretty positive.
And you haven't been able to find what it was?
No.
Still searching?
Yeah.
Johnny Paul, with his hamstring, that's the latest thing.
He's a chance this week. So again, it's the hassle with, I suppose, playing away. We left Tuesday, and so he might have got right in time, but we really needed a decision early in the week, so we decided to leave him at home. So I think he'll be right.
Any other injury concerns at this stage?
No, we're not too bad other than that.
Dave, what do you make of Nathan Harris' performance in the season?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously with Nathan, his first start of the season, and he'd be better for us. A very good defensive line out, so his speed of throw was going to be important in that game, and good for him to get a bit of physicality and get things going.
What do you make of the line out towards the end of the game there that kind of fell apart on you?
Yeah, it wasn't a great throw from Hicker, who's actually thrown very well, and our line-out's been one of the best in the competition. So, but under pressure, it's got to work, and unfortunately didn't.
Dave, who goal kicks for you this week? Do you decide, or do you let Aaron and Damien decide that between them?
We'll have a chat between us. So, we're fortunate we've got a couple of good options, and we believe Aaron's our best goal kicker. Didn't have a great night, even by his own admission. So, thought he had a great game. Thought he played superbly. But he's tough on himself. So we'll make a decision based on how well they kick during the week. And
do you ultimately make that decision, or do you let that little subgroup inside your group make the decision as a unit?
Well, they both want to kick. So, invariably if Aaron's happy and we were happy with the way he's kicking, then he'll kick. But we certainly won't let one game spook us.
Tim Nonai Williams back after a couple of months. What were your thoughts on his game?
You know what you get with Tim, he's got great feet. So I thought it was a real clinical finish when he scored, and he's the type of guy who can open up teams, and he's got a great skill set, so he jumps in at first receiver a lot and so on. So no, it was good. He'll be better for it.
You might jump in the midfield this week then with those concerns around the other midfield?
Yeah, so Tim's an option there with Anton. Johnny Foley had a 4-week suspension which has been served, and so he's back and available now. We brought Alex Nankerville back into the squad as cover with the 3 loose midfielders that we've got out with concussions. So Alex has obviously played a bit for us as well.
Dave, what did you make of the incidents with the Crusaders try where there was the potential obstruction on you guys? Even though, Nathan probably wasn't going to get there anyway, is it something we need to talk about more this well?
Yeah, look, a lot of teams are throwing balls behind would-be attackers and that sort of thing, and I think if there's a little bit of a bump and that's not an issue, if you throw out your arms and grab someone, then potentially it's foul play and obstruction. So they've been really harsh on it around kick counter, where when the people get in and block and open up a path. So consistency around all aspects will be good.
Is it about getting your players also to actually try and continue with the play rather than throw their arms up and try and scream for a penalty?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to still try and get across and make the tackle, because we're reliant on a referee and a TMO seeing it the way that he saw it. So we've certainly lost 2 or 3 tries that way this year. So ironic, I guess.
Have you had a look at the dives in the NRL at the moment and sort of the cross code? What's happened there with the bunker?
No.
Dave, obviously with the Blues, their season effectively goes on the line, and obviously you're pushing for the 2nd seed at this stage, so massive game for both teams. So expect another tough NZ derby.
Yeah, we haven't counted out the fact that we could still finish top in our conference, but of course we need a couple other sides to knock over the Crusaders. So we'll control what we can, and obviously that's through a good performance this weekend. But we're conscious of the fact that the Blues lose this weekend, their chance of qualifying are gone. So I think they'll be highly motivated, and they've always been massive encounters. So expect nothing different this week.
You mentioned last time with Augie a lot of intellectual property with SBW there as well, so it's going to be a hard rivalry. Yep,
we've still got some calls that they may be familiar with. Both of them played sevens all last year, so we're relying on the fact that their memory's not that good.
Dave, slightly off topic, Sevens coming to Hamilton next couple of years. What do you think about that?
Brilliant. Yeah, I won't be here unfortunately, but it'd be a great venue to have it. 24,000. I don't know if they'll put more seats in, but nice and close, and I'd imagine they'll want a real party atmosphere, and be a great place for it.